bacon. No, this is going to be a ridiculous sandwich, but ridiculous sandwich for a ridiculous guy, am I right? Hey everybody, welcome back to Huckberry Kitchen. I am your affable chef and host, Matt Jennings. Happy holidays, it's Thanksgiving. Now while I'm cooking Thanksgiving, I'm actually thinking as much about the next day as I am that day. And what I want to be thinking about is how to create the perfect Thanksgiving sandwich. We're starting with one of my favorite recipes ever. It is cast iron seared Brussels sprouts with bacon, pecans, and cranberries. Of course we're making a stuffing, and we're making a cornbread stuffing today with sausage and figs. And then the Brussels sprouts and the stuffing are incorporated into my sandwich, along with the rest of my Thanksgiving leftovers. All right, our Brussels sprouts recipe starts with thick slab bacon. So what I'm gonna do is take this bacon and cube it up and put it right in our cast iron pan. Nice big chunks. I think the bigger, the better. It's gonna go right in my cast iron pan, which I've had on kind of a low heat. You know, bacon always cooks better with the bacon dance. That's the bacon dance, in case you didn't know. So while this bacon's rendering, what I'm looking for is all this fat that's happening in the pan, right? That's actually the fat that I want. I'm gonna cook my Brussels sprouts in that fat. I'm gonna drain a little bit off, but I'm gonna save some for searing those sprouts. All right, so my bacon's just about there. I don't want to take it all the way like super crispy because it is gonna kind of get cooked again once I start searing off those Brussels sprouts. So I want it basically like medium. So I'm gonna take it out now and drain it on some paper towel. Now I've got this fat left over from the bacon. I'm gonna pour a little bit of that off, but I'm gonna save about half. Now you know you gotta save this, right? This goes in your freezer, little bacon fat salad dressing maybe. All right, so I've got about half my fat in here still. I'm gonna add probably a tablespoon or two of olive oil. So we're gonna go in with these Brussels sprouts that I basically just cut right in half. I wanna leave the root on so that they stay together, but now I'm gonna go face down in the pan. And by putting these face down, I'm gonna get a really nice hard sear on the outside of these sprouts. We have sizzle. Engage sizzle. Hey, come in a little bit tighter. You can see they're beginning to caramelize on the outside, right? That's what we want, but they're not quite there yet. Bacon's going back in now that they're starting to caramelize. I'm gonna add my pecans now. Are you a pecan or a pecan person? Don't at me. Don't slide into my DMs telling me that I'm saying pecans wrong. Then some dried cranberries. Dried cranberries provide a nice little tartness. Okay, this is the fun part. Little splash of apple cider vinegar. Woo! All right, a little drizzle of stock. It could be vegetable, it could be chicken. I happen to save some juice from my roasted turkey, so I'm gonna use that. Now I can start to toss them together. Look at how those Brussels sprouts have caramelized on the outside. They've blackened a little bit. That's flavor development, right? That's caramelizing all those natural sugars and really adding to the depth of flavor of this dish. Little sprinkling of sea salt, a couple rounds off the old pepper mill. Last but not least, a drizzle of maple syrup. Huckberry gave me some incredible Pappy Van Winkle infused maple syrup. You can use this maple syrup, or if you want, you can just substitute bourbon. Cast iron seared Brussels with bacon, pecans, cranberries, and maple syrup. Stuffing. Thanksgiving is all about the stuffing. Today we're making a cornbread stuffing with sausage and figs. So I got about a pound of sweet Italian sausage, and I'm gonna put it in my cast iron pan that I've had on a low heat. Sausage comes in a casing, so you gotta be careful, but you wanna cut this sausage right out of the casing. And drop it in. Okay, so I'm gonna render that sausage out in my cast iron pan on a low heat, breaking it up as I go. All right, so my sausage has been rendering out. It's sweating nicely. That's a real term. It's okay. Yes, food sweats. It's sweating out, which means it's some of that fat is going into the pan. That's really delicious. We're gonna use that to our advantage, kind of like we're doing with the Brussels sprouts. And so now I'm gonna go in with some white onion, some diced celery, and I've got some chopped dried figs because they add a little bit of a subtle sweetness and a really nice texture. All right, everything's coming together really nicely. I'm gonna add a pretty liberal pinch of chopped herbs. Today I decided on sage and thyme, fresh of course, but you can use whatever you want. Look it. The tiniest cube of butter, just a little bit, relax, just a little bit. There we go, there we go. How good does that look? Are you feeling it? Now we're gonna mix our stuffing. This is a cornbread-based stuffing. I made my own cornbread today because, well, I'm a psychopath, but you don't have to. You could definitely use a box mix or even pre-made store-bought. That's gonna go into a 350-degree oven, I don't know, for probably about 7 minutes. Now I'm gonna add my sausage, fig, onion, celery mixture. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now a little moisture. So stock in this case, vegetable, chicken, whatever you got. Again, we got some drippings from the bird. I've got a couple eggs here whisked together. I'm gonna add those in too. Crumble of sea salt. A couple spins off the pepper mill. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon zest. You don't have to do this. I don't even know if it's in the recipe, to be honest with you, but I like this to just kind of help level it up a notch. I'm ready to go back to the pan. We're going back into the oven, about 350 degrees, 10-15 minutes. I can hear it singing sweet, savory songs of deliciousness. This is our cornbread, sausage, and fig stuffing. So what we have here is bread, effectively, that's been made out of waffles from our stuffing. I went ahead and I saved some of that stuffing to the side, and I actually just pressed it right in a waffle maker. These are 2 thigh sections that I braised off, right, during Thanksgiving. So I carved that breast for everybody at the table, but I saved the legs, braised them off. This meat is literally falling off the bone. Look at it, it's so flaky, so tender, so delicious. This is the meat that I want for my Thanksgiving sandwich. And then I've got just my assorted sides, right? We've always got some extra butternut squash hanging around. We've always got some mashed potatoes hanging around. We've got my amazing Brussels sprouts now in this beautiful container. And then of course some of the requisites, right? Homemade cranberry sauce, mayo, mustard, kind of whatever you want. This is going to be a ridiculous sandwich, but ridiculous sandwich for a ridiculous guy, am I right? Bear with me, it happens. Who puts Brussels sprouts on a sandwich? This guy. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this, oh my gosh. I feel like we need a little skin on there. Do we need a little skin? Oh, it's crunchy. It's like a turkey chicharron. Now you know I made homemade cranberry sauce, because that's what I do, but don't be ashamed in your game. If you're a canned cranberry person, respect. I'm a red onion guy. I feel like it adds just a little bit of a textural component. I'm a pickle guy too. You know I didn't forget the gravy. Come on. We need a little bit more. Oh. This is Chef Matt Jennings with the greatest day after Thanksgiving turkey sandwich. You think you can beat me? Go to huckberry.com. Let's see what you got.